Alright, let's look at some properties of our schematics here that will become handy and useful, you'll see as we go along. One is going to be the ability to print this. So if I look at my schematic and I see I'm on this sheet here, I don't know what size that is, I could just see it on the screen. Now I can come up here to view and say fit the document. You'll see it fits this whole sheet. Or I can go to view and say fit objects, automatically scales to fit all the project that I have on here. I don't need to see the rest of the empty sheet. But what size is the sheet, right? I mean, is the piece of paper this big? Is it this big? So let's take a look. I'm going to right click here inside my sheet and I'm going to click preferences. So here's the preferences in here. You'll see that we're in the schematic general. And I'm looking at my schematic general here, and here's my sheet size. And here's the drawing area. So what is my sheet size? It's A4. That's a default. That's what comes from the factory. A4 is the size of the paper they use in Europe. Altium was originally from Australia, so they used the European size. I don't want to use that. If I try to print this and it goes to the printer's going to wait because it's going to say, hey, insert A4 size paper. I don't have it. So I'm going to use my drop down here and say go to letter size. I can tell it apply. Now my sheet is a letter size piece of paper. So let's say OK, and we can look at it here. There's a letter size. What happens if I have more stuff? Well, there's a few options. I can come back to my preferences and say I want legal size. That's even bigger, right? It's 8.5 by 14. Or maybe I want tabloid, even bigger. So I say apply. Now I have even a larger sheet to draw on and print my information on. Alright, I'm going to right click again, preferences. I'm going to make my paper back to letter size because that's all I need for this project. Tell it OK. And if I go to print this, what's it going to look like? How's it going to fit? And what we want to use on prints is file and default prints. Now if I do print preview, it'll show this print preview. You can see it fitting on the page. That's going to work because I told it that I had letter size paper. I can go back here to default prints and we'll use this a couple of times and I can tell it schematic. Here's my schematic prints. Here's the page setup. How do I want to fit it? Do I want to fit the document on the page? Do I want to scale it? I could scale it. I could scale it by 0.5 and say give me a preview, and now look, I'm not filling the whole piece of paper. So I can go back here, page setup. I can tell it fit the document on the page, do a preview. I'm using all the paper now. It's a little nicer print when you want to do your reports. So I'll leave it there. At some point we'll come back and we'll do the PCB prints, but not quite yet. Alright, so that's just some information on some of the properties of your schematic, the behind the scenes, how to get it to print right, how to get different size sheets. Thanks for watching.